For those with good taste.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to 3, 2, 1.
Spoiler!
I am Lenny. He is Matt.
I am.
We are For Those with Good Taste.
We are.
We're joined again by our good friend, fellow co-host to this monthly show we put on here. He is D'Angelo.
Thank you.
D. What else have we called him?
That's it.
Our first mate of taste.
Oh, you're the first mate of taste.
Yeah, I do like that.
You
That's
are
cool.
the first mate of taste.
My
Yes.
guys, my guys.
3,
He's
2,
our
1
cat
spoiler. Welcome. It is a show where I make my friends watch movies that I like, and they decide whether they kind of like it too.
Yeah, and
Fair?
it pretty much is like the deciding factor for our friendship in some cases.
On the low.
Yeah.
I've been putting people on saying that too. Like, yo, if you don't like this movie, I don't know.
New pitch, 3, 2, 1 spoiler, where I clout chase with my friends every month.
Hey
I don't
guys,
think
look
we
at this
need it.
sleeper pick that I got. This
Yeah,
movie's
exactly.
dope.
I would imagine that's the elevator pitch for the story, for
Yeah.
the show.
There we go. No, but
Yeah.
speaking of elevator pitches, so as I said, 3, 2, 1 spoiler, we're talking the movie Kings of Summer from the year 2013 this month. Movie you've probably never heard of. I don't know if you guys had heard of it prior to me telling you.
Nope.
No, man.
A movie that, surprisingly enough, I think has a cast that once you watch it, you're like, I know who
How-
all these people are.
How have I not seen this?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, right?
How has this passed me by?
But yeah, so Matt, why don't you go ahead and kind of give our fans out there a no spoilers, quick little reason why they should stop the video here, go check this movie out, and come back and have a quick conversation with us later.
Yeah, so I mean, it really comes down to, taking yourself back to a time where you were a kid and you just had parents that just didn't get it. And you know what? Just one day you said you're done. And if you ever imagined what your life would be like had you actually left that door, this would be it.
That was a
That's a
really
solid
solid
pitch, bro.
pitch. That was
Solid
maybe
pitch.
the best one yet, dude.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
And you just thought of that like a minute and a half ago. I think
do
everybody
this-
should know that.
I do this for a living.
That's fucking great, man. So yeah, if you
Shout
aren't
you out.
inspired to watch this now, I don't know what's going to do it for you. So it's okay. Hit pause. Go check out the movie. It's available somewhere out there. They all are. There's a million streaming services.
I'll tell you what, it was tough to find it, man. Outside of the legendary Voodoo account that we work from,
Mhm.
it was tough to track down, man.
Would you guys
Legendary.
say, and we'll get into like a rating later, but
Sure.
like just to tell the people now, is it worth the rent?
It certainly is. The juice is certainly worth the squeeze.
Yeah, I would definitely say so.
Yeah.
Worth the rent.
Cool.
Yeah.
So before we get into the juice here, right, the real juice we're squeezing out, let's start off with a nice traditional shot of liquor between the boys here,
It's the only way you can start it.
right? We like to get a little loose. D, you're always loose.
Hey, slow down, partner.
But I need to loosen up.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start here. So could I get a quick cheers to my boys?
Of course.
Cheers to the
Let's-
boys.
Let's see where another adventure takes us.
And-
Always.
Cheers
Always.
to you for taking this journey with us.
Yeah,
Thank you,
and
guys.
grab
Thank
your
you,
liquor
thank
and
you.
take a shot with us.
That's some
I'm
good
gonna-
OJ.
I'm gonna put my man face on right now.
What, no
I'm
chasers?
I'm not like scrunching up or anything.
Come on,
you
this
know?
isn't
bro.
high school.
Come
Yeah.
on, bro.
It's a good point. I am
Put the
breathing
skirt down, bro.
the freshest air ever. How do you feel right now?
I'm great.
Yo, it's a great
Minty
feeling.
fresh.
It is a great feeling. So, D, how about this?
What's up, bro?
So you didn't know anything about this movie.
Not a damn thing.
What, when you were initially hitting play, or even prior, because like maybe not last night when you went to watch it, but like maybe like a week ago when we talked, when it was like, hey, we're gonna be watching this movie Kings of Summer. What was your initial like thoughts? Were they positive? Like, what were
So you've so far had a pretty good track record of choosing movies so far.
Mhm.
Nothing that I've been like, damn, I really wasted my time watching this one. And sure, it may be bound to happen, but again, another movie that I just had no idea about. So you guys said, hey, we're doing Kings of Summer for our next 3, 2, 1 spoiler. I was like, okay. Literally, like, all right, what it is. I looked it up. I Googled it just right then to just kind of see what it was. I saw the poster, and my initial thoughts was, what the fuck? Literally, I was like, what
That
the
is such
fuck,
a good
bro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, well, I got to watch it sometime soon. So, yeah, that's initial.
Yep.
Oh, for me, it just did it with the trailer. Like even before I hit play, you know me.
I
Every
played
time
the
you
trailer
I
for
didn't
you.
watch the
trailer.
Yeah, I had actually
Yeah,
played
I
the
hadn't
trailer
watched
for
the trailer. I
Matt.
just looked at the
when you
poster.
played that trailer for me, I immediately looked at you and I was like, "What the hell do you got me getting into, dude?" Because we'll get into it in a bit, but it just seemed to have a whole host of characters, and it just from the cast alone, it really made you think, "What am I missing out on?"
I had this moment where I was watching the movie. What I probably watched it the first time. I've seen it a long time ago, but obviously, like when I was getting ready for this, I watched.
You saw
about
it when
a
it
week
first
ago.
dropped?
No, but I've owned it now for I mean, I've had it for 5-6 years. I mean, I probably got it shortly after it came out. Yeah, no, I've been
and you
hip
watched
to
it then?
Yeah, no, I've been hip to it for a long time.
Oh wow. Okay.
I've had other people watch it, so I had to keep like I know it's a good movie.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I won't lie to you guys. When I watched it the other day, I had the first 20 or 30 minutes. I was like, especially with D, I was like, damn, I don't know. Because if you don't catch somebody in the first 30 minutes, you guys have to watch it. I would just have been interested in the first 20 minutes.
Can I tell you? So I put it on. Fair enough. You know this. Late night. I just got back. We was hanging out last night.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Got into some extracurricular activities. And I was like, all right, Lynn, guaranteed I'm watching this movie tonight, bro. I'm doing it. So I get home. I put the movie on. First 2 minutes, I'm like, again, what the fuck does any have me watching? So I went and fixed some food, but I still have it on, like I'm listening, all of that. So my first 20, 30 minutes flew by. Like I wasn't really in yet. So a little bit of a cheat code for me by there.
Yeah, and I think those first 20 minutes, it's obviously a dialogue heavy movie.
Yeah,
and you don't really know where it's going for that. It's just very dry. It's certainly a dry movie.
Yeah, but I think that's what a lot of people don't know this. This is actually our official third episode for 321 spoiler, but there was one that was made that got lost in the world of the lost tapes.
Lost in the sauce,
right?
Yeah.
I had a similar feel to Kid Detective, where it was like, I know it's gonna burn, but it's burning slowly right now.
Yeah. You gotta have to get there.
I'll be honest, man. There was a point where I was like, I can just tell him I watched it. I think I could really slick by, and I should be able to knock out all the points at this beginning of this movie. But it certainly took some time to cook. But when it did, it was steaming, man.
But so we've all watched it a second time now as well, right? So on the second watch, though, those first 20 minutes, I think I appreciate it more the second time through when I started taking some notes and everything, because there's some dialogue that's just very funny, I think, and kind of beating the characters.
Yeah, and it really, they're statement moments, right? Because they really define what the relationships are. Like you get to see what, who we'll come to know in a moment, our main character, Joe, you get to see his relationship with his dad. And I immediately thought, like, having Nick Offerman as a dad seems like the worst fucking thing in the world, dude. Like, as a person who didn't have a dad, this seemed like the worst thing in the world. I'm just going to be honest with you.
He had me at avocado meat, bro. When he said avocado meat, I was like, I don't mean.
Is that even when he's talking to Joe and he's like, yeah, I'm inviting like whoever over for game night. And what did he call her? Like the
town sleuth or something
like
that.
He had like a whole long one for her, like fire breathing, like something or other. Yeah.
And the fact that he just repeats it and he's like, yeah, that's exactly who's coming over. You're like, damn, man, like you could tell this relationship blows.
When you're like, what kind of fucking household am I watching here? Yeah. Like what's going on?
And honestly, in my head, I imagine all dysfunctional homes like that to be that way.
It's weird because, we're kind of just thrown into the idea that his mom passed, right? So it's like, these guys are obviously dealing with some trauma that we don't really understand, but they clearly have the worst ways of communicating with each other, because he's like, yo, Dad, I got this party. And he's like, forget your party. I've already planned the entire night. Your sister drove in. And it's like,
Alison Brie also.
Shit,
when we were talking about this cast being really like a really strong cast with a lot of big people, she's another one that kind of just... As far as supporting cast, I mean, Nick Offerman, Alison Brie, and also Kamal Nimjani. Dude, I'm getting
Megan
close.
Mullally, another one of them. She plays the cop for Patrick.
The cop. Who's the lady? The female. The two cops are also fairly well known. But so, as far as the beginning of the movie, obviously, I think the first thing that catches your eye is the Monopoly game.
Yeah.
So I think the important question here is, was that a fair trade? Park Place for Tennessee Ave?
Fuck no. Are you kidding me?
That was the thing that... So we always ask, like, what scene caught your attention?
Yeah.
I immediately was like, oh, he's trying to... Like, they're trying to ruin this game for somebody, dude. This is not okay.
In my notes,
but
master at Monopoly strategy. This is some bullshit.
But did you see the way he prefaces it? He's like, hey, man, you want to be my bud? You want to be my buddy? You want to be my friend? And, of course, like any... boyfriend of the daughter is going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to try and get some brownie points. And he's like, you want to make this deal? And you can see the look on Joe's face, like someone had just killed his dog. It was like, dude, you made me show up to this shit. Now you're ruining the game for me.
You're fleecing this dude.
It was bad, man.
It's almost like that time when you fleeced Tom Lawless in fantasy football. It was similar.
I mean, we don't name drop, but it's very similar.
It's like exactly.
It's
like
exactly like this.
Yeah.
I mean, I will note that I did not win that year fantasy football.
Well,
so
I don't
it's
think in
okay.
the end Joe's dad won either.
Yeah, he certainly did. I mean, that's a great point. But what did you guys take from the, from the sister being there to the shitty boyfriend? I consider the boyfriend a douche in a sense, but
I
I
liked him though. Like I thought he's definitely 100. Like I wouldn't like him as a person.
No.
But as far as a character in the movie, I enjoyed most of the time that he was involved.
Going back and looking at it, you made reference to it already. That first 20 minutes, I thought this was like a parody. I thought this was like a goofy movie.
Very true.
Like even all the way up to the point to where Joe calls the cops. I'm still thinking like, oh, this is a dream. Like this isn't real life.
This is where my first beef came up with this movie because I was like, what the hell is he calling the cops for? I did not understand. And then to hear that he's done this multiple times.
He's doing it again. He's doing it again. I was like, what joke movie does Lenny have me watching?
When this happened, dude, I thought he was gonna jump in the car, like drive through the garage and take the hell off. It's like, no, I'm just gonna prank call the police so they can ruin my dad's night. And it's like, again, I just don't know what's the motivation.
I like saying height unknown because it's like, I mean, your dad's like rough height probably, and you've done this before. But like you were like height unknown, very specific.
Can you imagine the discussion between the cops as they're driving on? Like, we got to go do this shit again, dude.
Let's talk about the discussion with the cops. He's like, the cops like, so Joe. At some point, are you familiar with the story of the boy who cried wolf?
Frank. Nick Offerman's character's name is Frank, and he's like, yeah, I grew up in American, and I've listened to American folktale. I know the story of the boy who cried wolf. He's like,
and then so Frank comes back with the boy who cried what, and the guy's like, wolf. He's like, fuck you. He's like, the boy who cried what? Wolf. Get the fuck off my property
before I kick your dick in, dude. It is the most aggressive exchange
between
a civilian and a cop I think I've ever seen.
And so to your point with the parody thing, I think that's where you're kind of like, that's the type of line that catches your attention and I think draws you in because you're like, what am I fucking watching?
I know exactly if I knock your dick in the dirt. So this is like, oh shit.
How are you not getting a ticket for that?
Bro, it's different. Like I said, I literally thought I was watching a parody movie first in.
So go ahead, Len.
No, so did you guys, when you were younger, did you guys sneak out of your houses?
Yeah, I had an instance where I snuck out. I didn't get very far though. Okay. Like a couple hours passed and I was like, I really don't have anywhere to go.
Nah,
might as well go home.
I was a big sneak out of the house.
Really?
Yeah. Nah, my mom and dad had the fear of God in me.
Yeah.
Nah. No sneaking out.
So I think part of it was that I didn't have like a ton of freedom that I saw my other friends have. So
that was me. I had the freedom, so I was no need for me to sneak out.
And I had kind of the feeling with you where like you could say to your mom like, "Hey, I'm gonna go do this," and she, as long as you were honest, she was gonna do it.
Yeah, got to a certain age where I was able to just be like, "I'm leaving."
Yeah. No, so like
Curfew,
I definitely
younger, definitely.
I definitely had to live in this world where like my mother didn't believe that like kids did shit. Like she knew it. But she thought by putting harsh or big walls in between it that it would stop me from doing it. But I just did it even more dangerous wise because I had a bulkhead in my house in my basement and I slept in my basement every weekend normally. So it became very easy to just sneak out the bulkhead and come back. I've also had a time where I had a sunroom right outside of my bedroom. She caught me trying to jump off the top of that and leave. At times it was like a party.
Is there anything worse than getting caught?
What a loser. Multiple times getting
you wake up the next morning and you're like, was that a fucking dream? I really hope it was.
Yeah, it was real fucking awkward. No, but I mean, for the amount of times I did it, I was a big skip school. I was also a big sneak out kid. So,
skip school, that was me.
Yeah,
I was skip school.
I definitely have some good stories of that too. But so yeah, I think what drew me to this movie 6-7 years ago, whenever I first saw it, a lot of it was the nostalgia factor of reminiscing on my childhood of I did sneak out a lot, so I relate to that. And also I've always loved the woods and the ambiance of that. And the idea of the other question I was going to ask you guys is did you ever have a tree house or a fort or anything like that when you were younger?
Not a tree house, obviously, because I didn't have anybody to build it for me, but we would go out and hang out in the woods all the time.
You're on a natural builder?
I mean, nah, man. Those are things I just don't have, dude. Yeah, I mean,
there's nobody with tools in my house.
There's a dynamic with this movie that's so funny to me, and I think Lenny would probably agree because he's in a similar instance where, the arguments with the dad were just so funny because it was man, I'm really glad I didn't have to go through that.
Yeah.
me and my mom went through arguments, and my mom was always very strong-handed, but she worked 2 jobs. So it was like, all right, I'll get yelled at for a little bit, but I'm going to count the hours till you're out of this damn house.
Yep.
Where, to go out in the woods, to be able to go hang out with friends and kill 6 hours, it really hit home. Like, I understand what that's like.
So when I moved into a new house when I was in 8th grade. And there was woods at the end of my street. It was like a cul-de-sac with dead ends on the 2 streets in the cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
And there was paths into the woods there. And people would ride their dirt bikes down there. It was like sand dunes and shit. But when you'd first walk out there was literally already a pre-built like fort. And it was like
that's dope.
On 3 trees. And it had like a second, like you could go up on the roof of it. Like they put a hatch on the top of it. You go, it was already built. So like I would hang out there, and then come to find out when I was a little older, like 10th, 11th grade, same woods. We had like a cement factory.
Yeah.
And we would torture these fucking people. Like half my days of being a teenager, we would go there and push over like the huge cement like things and break all this shit. And the whole goal was to get the cops called, and like you'd run from the cops. Like it was like fun. I don't know, stupid.
We
fun.
got Lenny admitting
like,
to a crime.
I think I'm past
Double
like
jeopardy
anytime
over
I'm
here.
in trouble. They might not even be a business anymore because of that. Who knows?
Oh my God.
But so further past that same factory, like off to the side of it, there was legitimately 3 floors. Somebody had built like 3 platforms up into trees, like up to about 15
That's
feet.
awesome.
20 feet in the air. It was nuts.
That's always 2 things I've always wanted to do in life as a kid that I just never got to do.
Yeah.
Karate and a treehouse. Bro, I wanted those 2 things so bad as a kid, and I never.
But isn't that what makes this movie so relatable? Is that I think we all did, right? Like having that fort to hang out with your boys. Like,
what's up with you, bro? You good?
The karate part hit me because I always just wanted to be able to do a backflip.
No, bro.
Like just being able to be that guy. Like, oh shit, you see that kid? Oh, he did a backflip, son. This shit was incredible, dude. Standing still.
My mom told me no. That hurt.
Damn,
she would not let me get into karate, and she wouldn't let me get a treehouse.
That's out there, man.
Sorry, I was gonna ask y'all, like, that was a kind of like the go back from what Lenny was saying about the sneaking in thing, the running away part. That part though, Lenny, I definitely did. Me and my mom got into a beef. Me and my mom and dad got into a beef, and I packed my shit and I was getting ready to like leave. Like I walked out the house and everything, and my mom yelled from the porch, "If you take one more step, you're never coming back in this house."
That's a scary place to be, dude.
Yeah,
and
it's like no man's land,
bro. I looked back and it was at that point that I had to make a decision.
Yeah.
Be a thug or come back to the
That's
house.
what separates the men from the boys.
Bro, I turned around so quick.
But that's
got my ass whipped.
But that's an interesting place to start, right? Because it's, we're introduced to Joe and the weird dynamic that he has with his dad, but he's not the only one kind of going through something, right? Then we get the introduction to his best friend Patrick.
Well, this is where I wanted to kind of expand out, because I think Patrick has the worst situation,
dude,
from like a parenting perspective.
2 overbearing parents.
Just like how, dude, that is exhausting. How overbearing, and it's tough because you can't be mad at them because they care so much about their son.
That's why
they're so
I
supportive.
wasn't saying I don't know if that was
It's
the
a
worst
privileged
parenting.
issue.
They're just way too involved.
It's a privileged issue.
It's a very,
right?
very privileged issue.
But
can say WP, it's okay.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But it's like, at the same time, I can relate to, like, fortunately, I didn't necessarily ever have that, but I would never want that. I would almost rather the issues with the dad and talk shit with shit with my dad.
At least I can have the banter. Me can go back and forth. And
I can tell my friends these funny stories.
Yeah,
my
bro.
dad were like, I called the cops on my dad last night. Like,
bro, when they're playing Street Fighter and Patrick's dad walks in and is checking the wall for studs, and he just keeps knocking, and you can see on Patrick's face, he's like, dude, I deal with this shit every day.
Dude, when she's talking about the boot and how like fungus can grow inside, and that's who, I forget who they said died like that, but
the mom was a winner. Though.
Dude, Megan Mullally plays that role so well, the annoying mom or the annoying relative, because she just says the most ridiculous shit. When they're like, oh, we watched that new superhero movie with the Prince. Come on, the Prince. And it ends up being Will Smith.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you guys watch Hancock, and they had no recollection of what the movie was or what it was about. It's the most insufferable situation. You're like, bro, both sets of parents kind of suck.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you would understand like where they've gotten to the point of like, all right, dude, I think I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Did that resonate with you? Did you kind of get the idea like, yeah, these guys are probably going to end up taking off?
I didn't really think they was going to do it until they started doing it. I thought
until they met Biagio.
The guy. The guy.
Steals the show.
My favorite character throughout the whole movie. Yeah. I didn't think they were serious until then. Yeah.
Bro.
So you get the run away from home stuff, right? And that kind of leads to what, by happenstance, they end up in the woods and they come across this open area in the middle of the woods. Like I've gone on a lot of like hikes in the woods around here, and like there's a couple of those spots that you get to where you honestly feel like
This is it.
like there's nobody who could ever get to you out here.
Yeah.
Like you're in your own little paradise.
It's a safe space.
But it's like the village. Like it's like really there's just a thin strip of woods and there's like a main road right
There's
there.
a Boston market 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
Oh.
If we walk 20 minutes, we'll get fresh food.
So like,
20 is the stretch.
but they come across, he has this like moment. Joe has this moment out there, right? And he's like, I think I know what we have to
The
do.
lights hitting him.
Yeah.
He's looking around like, oh, this is it.
And I think what really clicks and what makes him follow through with it is the phone call with the girl.
Yeah.
Right? When the dad steals the phone and he's just like, yeah, like, no, Joe can't talk.
He's like, and he's
Have you
also,
ever experienced that?
he's also got a bedtime of 7:30.
I never like had the phone. Maybe I
That
have.
was
bro.
OD relatable
Bro,
right there.
I had my mom literally pick up the phone and be like, "What are you calling for?"
Oh.
Oh no, he can't talk because he's fucking dumb right now. And then just get the phone hung
Oh
up.
man,
And
all
then
the
you go to
time.
school the next day and you're like, "Hey, what's going on?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Wait,
all the time.
No.
I would sneak to like my bed had a bedtime. I wait till my mom would sleep, pick up the phone, call back. My mom would wake up, pick up the phone, get the fuck out the phone. It was I experienced that. That's the most relatable thing right there.
I was going through.
It's like,
PTSD.
well, that was like
bro.
why
I got nervous. Like I jumped a couple times. Like I thought I was about to get hit. God.
Dude, these kids now really will never understand like the idea of having a second phone line. Like being the kid who was lucky enough that their parents put a second phone line in their room or some shit. That is crazy.
Love.
Yeah.
Bro, instead of having one phone number with 3 handsets in the house,
Yeah,
and it's like, no, my mom got one in her room and she's got one in the kitchen.
And the one in her room says in use when you have
and
the
you
phone
had
on.
to be smart if you were sneaky like me and turned the ringer off, and you just told somebody a time to call, so you would just be looking at the phone for when they were called.
Next level sneaky.
Come on, bro! I
That's
turned the
insane,
ringer
bro.
off.
It's
all
wild
too
that we had to
relatable.
we just wanted to talk on the phone too.
I
It wasn't
just
even, like we
I
weren't even doing
just
anything wrong.
wanted to chop it up with a little shorty.
Yeah,
I
like
didn't know.
we weren't even doing anything.
No,
Like,
no. I had a bedtime, and my mom said
Trying
no.
to figure out what she's watching.
Yeah.
That's it, dude.
What you doing? You get off the phone. You get off. Nah, that's it.
20 minutes of silence. No, you hang up.
Yeah.
Just awkward as hell.
So what you would have did
But-
if I had kissed you at the lockers?
So the breaking point for Joe is that terrible conversation. His dad breaking up the conversation, all spitting, throwing salt all over his GAME, right?
Hater.
For Patrick, he wasn't down with it initially. He's like, yeah, man, I get that our lives kind of suck, but I don't think I'm ready to do this. But it doesn't take long for them to be like, hey, you eat your cheeseburger and then your fries? Like, you don't mix it up? Dude, if somebody asks me that, I'm flipping out immediately, bro. Don't ask me about which order I'm eating my food in.
So I actually really like the Joe and Patrick relationship. I think is a really relatable friendship too, right? Because like if that's like he isn't 100% sold on going,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, but Joe wants to go, and Joe's been going through some shit, and I want to be with my boy.
You got to ride with your man.
And it also wasn't like Joe was at it alone, because lo and behold, Biagio just invites himself. And the line that gets me is he's like, I didn't invite him, but I really don't feel comfortable being able to tell him that he has to leave. I don't know what he'll do.
Yeah.
It gives instant street cred to Biagio. You're like, all right, man, this guy's he's got a machete. What's up with that?
No, Bellagio stole the show.
Bellagio. I knew somebody would make that.
Biagio. My fault.
I like where
My
your head's
fault,
at, though.
Biagio.
But yeah, like these are our 3 main characters, and they're the ones that we're gonna follow into this new life, man. We're jumping into them building a life for themselves. They leave their parents, and apparently they leave with the canned goods and the pasta.
Less than $100.
And so that actually leads to the next really funny part is like when they get out to the woods and they start building their house, and Biagio is like, hey, Joe, I have these for you. And he has like ransom notes. He's like, well, I forget what the names were.
Bro, he had Anthony, Tennessee.
No, Anthony, Texas.
Anthony, Texas.
Jamal,
Washington. Like it was just all.
And he's just like, I went
up.
with the Denzel Washington theme.
Yes.
Black first name in a state. That movie.
Black first name in a state was had me crying.
The movie, it's also, and we were talking, me and you actually had a very similar conversation, Matt, about like the way things are dated.
Yeah.
And how this movie, I think, is in a similar state where it's like 2013 isn't that long ago, but they have some kind of like touchy racial jokes. Yeah. And then they also have the scene where Biagio is like, he says like, I don't know what I am or something. And he's like, is that okay? And Joe's kind of like, I'm not really too sure.
Bro, there are so many lines specifically from him. Like he's an era for controversy, because there's the scene where he's like, I'm pretty sure I'm gay. And he's like, how do you know that? And he's like, my lungs fill up every time the season changes. He's like, I don't think that's gay. I think you have cystic fibrosis.
That's actually just bad.
Yeah, bro, you're just dying.
I think you need to see a
Look, I'm
doctor.
gay.
This is pretty serious. But he made such light of, being gay and the LGBT community that it's like, dude, you can't make that movie now. It's extremely tough to make a joke like that.
I forget what else when they have to go to the police station and report like the kid's missing.
My favorite scene.
And I forget what does the mom say, and they're just like, no, that's just like kind of racist.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
Bro,
That's my favorite
I
scene.
can't speak to that scene, but the scene where she's like, no, our Patrick wouldn't run away. This is a clear kidnapping. And Nick Offerman is like, yeah, it's a classic kidnapping. They took our children and they took the canned goods and the pasta.
yeah.
It's like, dude.
Then the cop goes back and says the same thing.
He is
250, 100, clear kidnapping.
He's so over it, dude. Like, he could give two shits. He's more inconvenienced at the fact that his kid ran away.
Well, he's like he took the Monopoly piece, dude. Like,
he said he did it to spite me.
He did it to spite me. He hates Monopoly.
There's so much wrong with that entire interaction, man. But like, you could just tell that Patrick's parents have absolutely no clue to what's going on, because they're like, our sweet boy would never run away. And it's like, no.
Can we stay here for just a second, Matt?
We can, dude.
Joe got to be the angriest Monopoly player in life, bro. Every time he plays Monopoly, he gets swag.
But people are fucking around
He
on
left
him, bro.
the train. He left the train. He left a piece for his dad.
That's a fuck you. That's dope.
Oh, man.
So subtle and so dope.
Like on a bus too, like not like in like a spot in the house. Like he made him go and find a bus with a bag that had a Monopoly piece in it and a phone.
No.
And the other guy's like, "Who had a beeper?"
That's what I wrote that in the notes too. Wait, who had a beeper?
Some random dude was just like, "Who has a beeper?"
Because you look at the phones there. There's clearly a smartphone. Then there's like a Razor, and then there's the beeper. And I don't know why I was drawn to the Razor. It's like, really, that's an old phone. And then you hear him say, "Who has the beeper?" And it's like, oh my god, dude, I didn't even see that.
I forget
on first
the actor
watch.
who that is, but I was automatically laughing when I saw him.
Oh yeah, he was the one person who was like notable in that scene.
Yes.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Black dude with big glasses. I forget.
Oh, it's Hannibal Buress. It's Hannibal Buress.
It's Hannibal
Buress.
Yeah.
This again, like as far as casting goes, like these, like there's people like that just pop up randomly.
Wait, who has a beeper?
So,
God.
could you guys build a house?
Bro, I don't know how the hell they did that. Where'd they get the wood from? Like, I get they're in the woods. There's no way you're cutting it that well. I don't understand how they built this house.
30-year-old me.
Well, but it
there
cut well
was
enough.
tons of leaks.
Yeah, it cut well. Yes, it cut well. It cut well enough.
I don't think there's any way you build a foundation where you could have a second floor. Forget that, dude. There's no way they're doing that.
I think 30-year-old me has seen a lot of survival shows, and I might be able to figure some shit out.
I don't know, man.
I'm not good with tools. That's an issue. But
I also love the fact that he stole all of his dad's tools after literally he's like, you're going to organize all these damn tools. And
yeah,
it's
get
like,
them out of my driveway.
Yeah, get them out of my driveway. You know, they're way out of your driveway.
Yeah,
dude.
they're out your driveway.
They're in the woods,
We'll
brother.
see.
We'll
see.
Yeah, I mean, that's really just what we get in these three guys. I mean, we don't even get Biagio's story. He's just like, I'm coming.
I wish I would have had more background on Bellagio. I liked him. That's my favorite character.
Keep screwing his name up.
It's
Bellagio?
the Joey Diaz situation.
Bellagio?
Calabib.
Bellagio.
What's it? Bellagio.
Bellagio.
Bellagio sounds a whole lot better though.
Put some respect.
It's
on it.
I
easy.
think that's that's expensive
The casino.
clothes, right?
The casino.
Same thing.
All right, gentlemen. So the house gets built, and structure notwithstanding, they do a decent job. And then it's really just about, like, did you find it funny that Joe was like, nah, dude, I'm the meat gatherer. You go organize those fruits and nuts.
Well, it's like the whole relationship that's been established here, right? Is like Joe trying to alpha Patrick.
Clearly.
Yeah.
And Patrick ain't having it, dude. He's
Well,
like, my foot might be
secretly,
broken, dude, but I'm not having this.
Secretly not having it.
Secretly not. That's important.
Yeah,
like,
it's
sure.
important.
Like, it's very subtle, and I think that's a good thing that the movie does. And I don't even know if you pick up on it on the first watch as much as you will the second watch.
Definitely, yeah.
Because you know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
That tension's there the whole... Like, you kind of even talked about it with, like, Patrick wasn't into the idea of going. And it's like, Joe's like, no, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
The scene I really like is when they go to walk to the woods the first time when they're going to build the house. And they get to the edge of the woods. And Patrick's like, I like to take 30 seconds and just look for, like, any bad omens to let me know that maybe I shouldn't do something. And it's just, the thunder is at, like, 28 seconds. 28 seconds. It's just the thunder hits, and it's like, dude, like, I don't know, you drink, you eat, thunder, like nature. It's like, it's all shit, dude. Like, we're going to go. Yeah, we're always going to go. And he got bullied again. Yeah. And it's just subtly this whole time.
That's a great point.
And obviously we'll get a little later on, we'll get into where this kind of leads to. But I think it is something to be noted that Patrick's pretty fucking accommodating through most of this movie.
No, and I think, you know, when you have best friends, it's like, you know, you want to be supportive. Mm-hmm. You also don't want to be the guy who's bitching out, right? Like, you guys have committed to doing this. You wanted an omen. You got a pretty good omen.
Yep.
But at this point, you know, you're wanting to continue on because you've already committed to this. You don't want to go back on your word.
So before we get into the guys broing out after the house is made, why don't we all bro out real quick? And,
I think that's only right.
Shot here, right?
Bro out.
Dude, was that magic? We were just sitting here and the drink's just like, wow. That's crazy.
That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. To everybody out there.
Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Hit us in the comments.
So, as I said, the boys, they're out there broing out.
The Kings.
They address the food situation, and everybody's sent in their separate directions. And a couple very important things happen here.
Yeah.
So, first of all, we kind of hinted at it earlier, but the food gathering process on the behalf of Joe and Biagio.
How would you rate the effort that was put in on their part?
Oh, I think that's like a lot of this is like we said before, it's like nostalgia and like kind of like what you wish you could have done when you were younger.
Yeah.
It's also a lot of relatable stuff. I think the way they reacted to catching that food is like the way, like I just said, I'm 30 years old. Like I think I've watched enough shows. I could go out and do some of this stuff.
Get face to face with a possum.
But yeah, the second I caught an animal, I'd freak the fuck out, like in a heartbeat.
And I mean, not for nothing, too, guys. Like I want to make sure that I don't skate over this for the listeners. Is that once they get the treehouse built, they are legit living in this treehouse. They are doing their thing. Like, hey, we're fully committed. Even before the food, they're just it's finally done. Treehouse is built. We're living. This is it.
It's so important to point that out too, because they're immediately into survival mode, right? Like they're gathering water.
Yep.
They're figuring out their shelter situation. Yeah. And then it's like, all right, we got to figure out how we're going to gather food.
Yeah.
And for them, this hunting contraption that they create is like, oh, we got this, right? There's a lot of confidence brewing there. And then that one little wrench in the plan, when you're kind of faced with, can I do this? No, they weren't able to do it. And it was like, all right, shit, we need a plan B.
Right.
And their plan B, as anybody's plan B should be, Boston Market.
It's a solid plan B.
Dude,
Boston,
it's plan D for a lot of people.
I was like plan C. I was like plan C, plan D, but whatever.
It's just meatloaf. It's all meatloaf.
I don't know if I've ever actually had Boston Market.
What?
Congrats to you, bro. You've lived a good life.
There's just a lot of shit I don't eat, so like it's just not a place that I would go into. Maybe I've had some of their chicken before, but
chicken.
No, but what I mean is
their rotisserie chicken is amazing.
That's what no. Can you answer that question?
Well,
don't eat rotisserie?
No. But let me correct myself. What I mean is this: if I have the choice of different places to go, if I have the choice of where I'm going to go to get food, like rotisserie chicken, I like it, but it's not like what I'm going to go seek out.
I just needed it to be clear for me.
I'm aware of I've had KFC, like I've whatever, like I've had that type of food. That particular place, I don't know. It's funny being from Boston, and I don't think I've ever had Boston Market.
I've seen so many Boston Markets, but I've never seen one in Boston.
Yeah.
There's one in Quincy.
Go figure.
Yeah, I'm not running down on a Boston Market at all. Yeah. It's like you said, it's never my plan A, B.
See, I feel like people when I've talked to them have been generally positive about it. You guys don't seem.
It's not bad. It's just not what I'm like.
It's certainly not good.
That's it. Yeah, I'm just not running down.
That's just chips. Go ahead.
Big holidays, you might go there. Like
I thought you were talking about another restaurant. Like big holidays. This was like, what is that?
It's a branch off chain of Boston Market.
It's like going to Corral. It's called Big Holidays. No, like big holidays, you might go there to feed your family.
Pick up some
Key
stuff.
transitions.
So would you guys have? First of all, is Patrick dumb for not knowing what's going on here?
No, man. The funniest part about all of this is the sheer betrayal when he finds out that it's not their secret recipe. He's like, dude, I could understand getting the chicken from Boston Market, but the loaded potato's not Biagio's secret recipe. And he's just so upset about this, man.
He's like, no, but honestly, he makes that on his
own.
He's
like, no, dude, he makes it on his own. He grabs the lead.
That part scared me. No, that part scared me. I was like, you don't know where this shit's coming from?
Bro, but that led me to believe, I was just left with the question, do chickens live in the wild?
Well, because that's where it was like they came back with the excuse of like,
Okay, you say no. I've
No.
seen turkeys in the wild.
I've seen turkeys everywhere. I've
Yes,
turkeys all around here.
I saw a turkey the other day downtown.
Chickens are just small turkeys.
Isn't that wild? Like downtown, you found a
With like
turkey.
shopping
Dead
on Burberry
ass.
Street.
Burberry Street, Newberry Street.
Newberry, my bad.
Yeah, no, dog. I saw a turkey downtown. It was wild, but I'm a Southern boy. I'm country as they come.
Probably couldn't find
You
parking.
never chickens aren't in the wild. Those aren't wild animals that you see in a forest and shit. Positive.
I see what you're saying. You more so see them on a farm.
He was just like, yeah, no,
Yeah.
we came up. You'll never believe it. We came across a field full of chickens, and like he went back to this field full of chickens multiple times, and Patrick never was like, hey. Can I go see
Yeah,
that?
I'm about to say I want to see that.
Where are you getting the trays from? Because it wasn't like he brought them in bags
Yeah.
of Boston Market. Like
No,
it
but
wasn't
maybe
like.
I think he took them off of the bag, like out of the bag when he actually got to him. I'm
All
sure.
right, I would hope so, man, because I
Also,
don't know how
too,
this charade was even.
This was the first time that it really like clicked on me in this scene that Patrick's boots stank.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, they were walking through
Yeah.
the water. That's when it clicked
Dog,
for me.
Lenny, that's when I looked at it. I was
But no,
like,
let's be real
you're
though.
standing in
If
this
you're living in the woods,
Take the
you're
boot off.
doing-
Is my
no,
point.
you're doing.
that's
that
what I
shit,
was
though.
thinking. Just take the boot
I don't
off,
know,
guy.
man. I don't know.
You're planning to go to the doctor. You've already fully committed to living in the woods.
That boot is disgusting.
No,
Nasty.
I'm with you. I'm going barefoot.
Nasty.
But to each his own. These guys are different.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly.
So
it was at that particular scene, y'all, where I knew Patrick was a different sort of savage.
Yeah.
Whatever happened after that, I wasn't surprised at all.
He was like low key about it too. Like,
Oh.
he wasn't really saying it, but like it was
He
there.
had
Dude,
He
y'all
had
you guys
the
thought he was
steak.
weak because he had a broken foot. No,
I
dude, he's
did.
the most savage of the
Steak
group.
in the lake, in the river,
Yeah.
boot in it, staring him down. They do the cut scene where it's just the eyes staring at him.
Dude, he's
It's-
legit,
Patrick
legit.
was a real thug, and I
Yeah.
appreciated it.
Probably the most manly of man in
Yeah,
this movie.
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
And
Besides Nick
he was a
Offerman.
redhead too, right?
So the two things that happened was, first of all, they find the chicken, but the other thing, speaking of Patrick, is he finds the condom on the
Yeah.
ground in the woods.
Yeah.
You know, like the Magnum, he finds it on the ground out there.
What's up with that?
Yeah.
We get the answer later,
Yeah.
right? Do you guys
Yeah.
you guys remember the answer?
Well, yes, yeah. So for real though, he finds a copperhead skin on the ground. Right, so he finds a nice copperhead skin on the ground.
yeah.
That thing is massive, by the way. Like
Oh,
that's
it's huge.
that is a,
It's huge.
like a lengthy
You're my
son
guy.
of a
You're my
bitch.
guy. You're
You
my
know
guy.
I'm a length
You're
guy.
my
I'm not a
You're my
girth guy. I'm a
Put your-
length
put
guy,
your-
dude. I'm
put your
a length
arms
out the
down,
width.
right?
I'm glad this
What's up
happened
with
on
your
camera.
man?
I'm sorry, man. I can neither condone nor
But
allow
like
what's going on here.
they do a fair bit of that in the movie, right? Call and response type thing. Like we got the Monopoly early, we got the Monopoly late.
Yeah, they do it for the callbacks for sure.
You get a lot of payoffs to what's
Yeah.
happening. So you get the snake skin earlier, and it's like, hey, put that in the back of your head. It's gonna come up.
And dude, there was a heavy emphasis on it because Patrick's like, bro, there's copperheads out
Well,
here.
so no, but that was
Like-
also like very informative, right?
Yeah.
Like that was the right thing. Somebody was paying attention to the books they're reading because he's like,
Again,
dude,
savage.
all this chicken bones that you have, like, bury that shit. Don't throw
throw
it on the ground.
throw it in the
Like,
fire.
if we're really gonna live out here and this is gonna be our house, treat it like it's our fucking house. Like
Yeah.
we don't want to bring that shit back here.
Right.
Like, and I
That's a
think
great
that's
point.
like a good mirror to his parents too, where he's kind of becoming like the overbearing one in the house. Like
Yeah.
they're just trying to be dudes living on their own.
Like, who the hell told you to be responsible, dude?
Yeah.
We're here to live our lives, not for you to give us rules. What the hell?
the fuck?
But
outta
shout out
here.
to Patrick, man. I mean, it ends up paying off for him in the end.
Dividends.
So
Uh,
I was very envious of just the entire part there before we get to the real, like the third act where
Yeah.
like shit kind of pops off. I really love this middle part.
There- there's a moment of synchronicity, right?
Mhm.
Where
Yeah.
they're, they're living out in the wild. They're
The
enjoying
part,
their
just
times.
the drum beat
Damn,
on
you
the,
took it out of my mouth, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Great callback.
and like they
Great
start the movie
callback.
off with that, which is
That's
great
exactly
too,
what I was
right?
about to say.
I have
Great callback.
I have another good quote from Biagio
Okay.
due to the copperhead conversation. Do you guys remember? In Italian, the word for snake means the demon's cock.
And Patrick's just like, no, it doesn't.
He's like, maybe it doesn't.
Doug, Bellagio is the fucking man.
Yeah, he is.
Bellagio is the
But
man.
this is what you're getting in this little montage of moments is
Yeah.
that like you're seeing each of these guys come into their own. I mean, Bellagio has like a million other
Now you're fucking
good
it
quotes.
up.
I know, I'm messing it up.
This is the Captain and the Winter Soldier thing all over again.
Dude.
Fuck.
He's
When he's-
planting the seed, dude.
when he's
fucking us up.
camoed on the tree.
He just keeps talking to him. He's like, dude, Diageo. Biagio, I can see you.
Bro, when he
Then
goes,
he talks and says, "Where's Biagio?"
bro, when he goes, I didn't trust that old man because he had shadows behind his eyes. He's like, where the hell did you come from? He's like, yes. You didn't answer my question. There's just so many moments in it where you're like, okay, you can see where this is all going really well for them.
Mm-hmm.
When is the shoe drop?
Yeah.
Right? Like you're kind of wondering.
But that drum beat kind of does it, right?
Yeah.
Because that whole thing, it's like happening, and you're getting this like montage, and they're dancing, and they're having a good time. But it's like building and building.
At this
and building.
point, I was fully invested.
Yeah.
I'm fully invested at this point.
Because you're along for the ride, right?
I've laughed. I'm on a level right now. This is great. I'm fully invested. I want to see this happening, and as everything is happening right now, the other side of the coin, we've been talking so much about the kids, is that the parents are like, "Yo, our kids are gone."
Yeah, they're going
missing.
through it, right?
Yeah,
it's all over the news.
Yeah,
Their fellow students are hearing about all this, and like that's what kind of prompts the whole Kelly situation. We haven't really gotten into her, but Kelly is the
foil kind of
the
fair enough,
the love interest, right? Where Joe is so infatuated with this girl, she's got a boyfriend, but oh wait, she doesn't have a boyfriend anymore. I'm living on my own. Maybe I might be able to make a move. All of this information is being shared in real time. These guys have kind of found their own little oasis where they don't have to deal with any of that.
We gonna stay here for a minute, y'all, because I got some strong opinions about Kelly.
Okay.
I'm upset.
Well, don't ruin it.
I'm not. But I'm just letting you know that
let's
I need to get this
let's
off.
set up the third.
Let's
so
set
like
up
I
the
said,
third
we're
act.
moving into the third act
Let's
here,
do
right?
it.
So the beginning of the third act is essentially Joe leaves the house early.
Yep.
Right? In the house in the woods, he leaves early and he ventures back to the normal world.
Yeah.
And he goes to a golf course where Kelly, the girl he's interested in,
It just
works.
happens to be working. Yeah.
Throws him some chips and shit.
Yep. Throws like a little golf ball down at her, right? Or something, was it? Yeah.
Dude, he played. Can we talk about this? Like, the man's game was,
it was good.
Unreal.
Well,
like,
Come on, man. Let's talk about
that's
it.
why you feel for.
Let's
I
talk
think that's
about
where
it.
Joe's kind of a dick, but I think he played the lady part of it about as well as you could.
He didn't make a bad move until the campfire. That's really where you're like.
But I mean, like
even then, it's a little bit.
Even then, I'm like, ain't
right. It's a bit of a stretch, but you know, hoes are gonna hoe, right?
You think she's? I'm not even going that far.
No, I
wouldn't even call her a hoe.
It is fucked up
It's
though
hoey,
because
but,
but I don't think
I
she's
see. I see.
yeah, but like it's complicated because she's supposed to be young, right? So it's like, does she even know that she's leading this dude on yet?
Like,
I don't give a fuck about the age for her being a hoe.
No. At no point was Patrick. Hold on. Let's go back though, because even if you go to the party, like she was on my boy Joe. Like Patrick wasn't even in the conversation.
Yeah, but I think when you watch the second time, you do pick up on a little bit of like when they do come across each other in that earlier part. It's not like they talk or anything, but I think there is a brief like, "Hey, Patrick," like, and it's a little awkward.
You say that, man. So really what the third act comes down to is Yoko breaks up the band, bro.
Talk about it.
Like,
talk about it.
Was there a worse feeling than when you're watching that scene where she's coming up the ladder and my boy is feeling good. He's like, everything's going according to plan. And she's like, "Hey, Patrick, can't sleep. You want to go for a walk?"
Dude.
AKA, you trying to dry hump?
The note I took was like, that is game. Like that she might have chose the wrong dude, but like,
did she though?
I mean, that's all
we'll get there. Let's talk about
right?
it.
I mean, we just talked about him being the most manly of men.
Like that's a game I would have run at 16, 17. Like, hey, you want to go? Like, I can't sleep. You want to go take a walk or something like that? Get a place a little more private to do your thing. Like,
yeah, we're out in the woods.
On so many fronts. I've seen this
time and time
again. I've seen this play out. On the broad scope for me, this is one thing that I specifically wrote in notes, man. It's
specifically.
Like, yeah, relationships ruin good things. It can ruin good things.
Yeah.
This was a
if
good
you
thing.
let it, yeah.
If you let it, this was a classic case of you let a girl get in between your friendship. And they're young, so I'm not gonna, play that part. But at the same time, I just really can't get past one. If you're my boy, you gotta know.
Okay.
You can't do that.
So that's the glaring question here. You brought it up earlier, off cam. Does Patrick break bro code?
100%.
Normally the basic rule of thumb is bros before hoes.
Always.
Right? Patrick wasn't really part of the invite, right? Like Joe was the one putting all this on.
Okay, but really quick. Did Joe not break something first? Because initially
you weren't supposed to let anybody know.
So initially they signed a fucking document. Like there was literally a document that's like, we don't tell anybody else where this is. We don't
that-
invite anybody else. Joe doesn't go to them and say, hey, I think I'm going to invite Kelly back, like, and try to match.
Yeah, you're
and
right,
this
bro.
goes to another issue with Joe specifically, right? Joe clearly, with his relationship with his dad, has a clear issue with communicating his feelings, something that most men have an issue with, right?
Fair.
So he at no point in that movie, despite the fact that Patrick should know, right? I don't disagree with that because like anybody with eyes can see this girl. He's into this girl, right?
That's what I'm glad you made the distinction.
But Joe never actually comes out and cops to having feelings for her.
Still not an excuse.
I don't know, man. There's something about the girls showing up, and up until that point, dude, around the fire, everything else, they're talking.
And just for the record, I want to make sure this is said because I'm always the assist guy to my peeps.
Yeah.
Joe brings not one, he brings 2 joints.
That's what's up. I was like,
Well,
no, I mean that was
No, it was so
that
it's
was
not,
cool
it's
as
not
fuck.
it's not my 3 boys and one who I want to holler at. It's 2 joints and one's up for grabs.
But like
do
when
you-
you're competition.
But do you
Biagio,
think?
it's
But
like-
do you think that should have been an indication for viewers when Vicky goes for Biagio? Like when there's a clear chemistry between Biagio and the other chick.
I'm glad Bellagio got some love.
Somebody's got to be the odd man
deserved
out,
it.
though. Somebody has to be the odd man out,
For
and that's
sure.
where there's a sign that this little happy, life that they've got going on is not going to last.
We're all seasoned men in this room. When that happened,
Okay, I like what you did there.
we already knew where it was going.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't like, oh man, it's good.
It was just
Now
sitting
we
on
knew
the
what
couch,
scene
bro.
was
Because like
coming.
I don't know about you guys. Like I've been at
She's playing hard to get.
I've been at a
Come on,
party
bro.
though. I've been at a party when it's been a girl that like I'm into, and I've seen her
Go to another dude.
Ended up talking to another dude,
Been
and like
there.
that fucking sucks.
hurts.
Hurt, bro.
Like
It hurt. Yeah, that
or
hurt.
you're
And
gonna,
that's when-
like you want to leave the
Well,
fucking
bro,
party.
when
It
that's
hurts. Like,
when
yeah.
that's your boy,
That's different. Not your
That
boy, your
hits.
bestie. That's your
bro,
man,
because
your
it's not
brother.
even
That's
like
different.
there's 2 things that he has to deal with here. He has to deal with the girl that he is infatuated with,
Yep.
chose his boy in
Yep.
the middle of the night when he thought it was going to be him. The flip side of that is that his man's reciprocated and was like, yeah, I know how you feel, but it's not even about you.
I'm gonna tell you this.
Bro, that's rough.
Yo and your boy, no Frank, no. You and your boy in the same bed. Y'all sleeping on 2 separate sides of the bed.
Yeah.
You kind of had to know, bro. Like you know what's up.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I'm not. It's
Bro,
yes,
and
yes,
the-
Lenny. The overall question, what you asked was, did Pat break bro code? Yes, he did.
It's easy.
Can I fault him for being a high schooler and all
An
that
attractive girl is giving you the looks.
stuff? Yes and
Starts
no.
throwing you that energy
Yes.
out in the middle of the woods when you're finally being a man. Like
Yes and no. But
That's the
yes,
realest
the
shit I've
answer to
ever
the question is yes. He broke
yeah,
bro code.
yeah. No, I like so, and we'll. I'll hold my next question till the end. But so like everything has a like a cause and effect, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this happens. The hey, you want to take a walk at night happens, and it leads to another Monopoly game, right? In the midst of all of this,
Big L, Big Joe.
what a Monopoly game!
What a
by the way.
Monopoly
Yo,
game.
the fact that Joe
Whatever,
turns into Frank 2.0.
Oh, it's so perfect.
It
man.
is immediately the
That's
person
that call and
that
response
loves
thing.
the horse, man.
I
Yeah.
loved
It's
it.
the doing it again. We do it for the callbacks, right? You're always going to appreciate that moment where you're vindicated and, oh, I've seen this happen. I know what's going to happen next. It's a tale as old as time.
Men- Oh, Monopoly's
men,
back.
men
Like,
are
yeah.
talking. Men are talking.
Dude, when he said that, I was like, oh, no.
Thug
like,
life.
oh,
Thug life
no.
tatted on my chest. Men are talking.
No,
you
man.
know what's about to
It's
happen.
a bad time.
Throw the money on the table, realtor. Give me the hotels. All
So,
of
I mean,
them.
at this
You're
point,
pricing me out of the game.
Woo!
Fuck yeah, I am, motherfucker. You priced me out of my relationship,
What's
bitch.
happened? What's
Yeah,
good?
yeah, do something about it.
Which is so then at this part, right? For me,
Yeah.
this is the part where I think Joe's a hoe. I'm sorry, not Joe. Patrick's a hoe.
Yeah.
You knew what time it was. I'm playing the game. I'm playing it dirty. I'm playing the game.
Sorry.
All right, I'm playing the game. But you took it. You knew. This is why Pat gave off that energy. This is why I agree. Me and Matt are saying the same thing.
Yeah.
You knew it was dirty. You knew you broke bro code. You obviously felt the way.
You didn't address the situation.
Yeah, because I played you out the game on Monopoly. You wanted to throw hands. You threw the whole Monopoly board out the glass window, bro. You was mad as shit.
Bro, and like this is where like the metaphor starts meeting the reality, and their whole world comes crumbling down because they start getting into a fight and they destroy everything that they've built to this point.
Yeah.
And you can
viciously.
slowly feel it. You're like, man, this has got to be the end, right? Like at some point, we've kind of felt like the other shoe was going to drop, and the fact that it did it in this way, where it was so easily to have them broken up, and it puts our boy Bellagio, aka Biagio, in the worst possible place because he has to then make a decision. It's like, we had a good thing going, but now like I'm not part of that anymore.
Once you knock over the mailbox, bro, it's over.
Yeah, it's wrong.
What did you think of Joe's move where he kicks Patrick in the foot? Like
I love
he didn't do anything else. He's just like,
Bro, you got to know how you're gonna win.
Yeah,
You got to be efficient.
That's what he's like. I'm not gonna snuff this dude, but I'm gonna go right.
Bro, I'm not gonna
fucking
punch my
shin,
boy
bro.
in the face, but I'm gonna fuck up his leg real
I
quick.
love it. I love it. You should have been wearing that dirty ass boot anyway. So.
Yeah, man, you got fungus in there.
I'm with it.
But it all comes to what would you say?
A head.
It all comes to a head.
Yep.
And there's a scene where Kelly's running into Patrick's arms. They meet in the middle of the night, and that's kind of where Patrick decides, like, this is it for me.
Yeah,
he
I'm
goes
going
home.
Yeah.
Goes home.
We kind of you mentioned it. I really felt for Biagio though here because like he's so innocent.
Yeah.
You get that feeling. It's almost like a puppy dog in a way. Like he's just been following.
He's
him
grown
around.
on you at this point.
He
Yeah.
was
He's grown on you.
He was living his best life with two people who had accepted him for who he was.
Exactly.
And he gets to be whoever he wants to be.
And who's like the person he looks up to the most in the movie at this point.
But brother, it gives us the best scene of this movie, hands down.
We'll get there.
Right?
Man,
Go ahead.
You said it, and this is a callback from what you were saying earlier. Now that you said that, and I guess I really didn't think about it until you brought it up just now, is that Bellagio had grown on me now. Like, that's my man. That's what
He's the number one guy in the movie.
It's so
point.
subtle. Everything he's doing is like funny but
his
subtle.
parents aren't nowhere near this entire movie. It's saying, "Where's my kid?"
Yeah.
So even that part, kind of now that you said, it's like, damn, I feel kind of sad for Bellagio.
Spanish parents just expect you at home by the time the lights go out. If you're not there, fuck it, you're just not showing up.
You're just going.
We don't have time to have to fucking
Even when
chase
he's
you
back,
around.
it's like, oh, you're back.
Bro,
What's up?
if there was anything more realistic about this movie, it was the fact that Spanish parents did not give a shit about where their kid was.
Bro, oh, you back? What's up, boy? Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Bro, his dad was shaving.
So this is the
and
best.
he's like,
This is
"Puppy,
maybe the best scene in the movie.
I need to talk to you. It's by far the best scene in the movie. And I told you, it brings me back because there is such a weird dynamic here where he's like speaking in the strictest of Spanish. And his dad is like, yeah, son, sometimes you feel that way. And it's just weird because they just keep going back and forth.
But, going back to what we talked about at the beginning about, like, how I was having this internal thing with where I was like, I wonder if they're going to like it, don't like it, and I'm probably going to always have that conversation. But honestly, the moment on the first watch that clicked to me that I'm like, no, like, how can you not like this, was this scene with the dad, because it's so odd. It's, like, so fucking weird. But at the same time, it's not meant to be like, it's not even meant to be laugh out loud funny. It's just like very, very subtle humor.
I can
like,
tell you what.
It's experienced humor, is what I tell people.
100%.
It's experienced humor. Like, you've had not that sort of conversation with a parent or a 30 figure, but in that sort of same lane, like, hey, if I do X, does this mean Y?
Yep.
And they're like, yep, sure does.
But it's such an earnest conversation, but it's not.
His dad has no idea what's going on. Like the fact that he's giving
just walked back in
the fact that he's giving him advice. Like they didn't miss a beat. Like, hey son, where you been?
Nothing.
No, it was like
nothing.
It was like, oh, you've got questions, I've got answers.
Yeah.
Let's figure this out. But he was answering everything without having a shred of idea
of
what his son was going through.
I love it.
And bro, if you understand Spanish parents, that's just how they are. It's legit like listen, I'm not throwing names out there. Relatives I have, you'd be like, hey man, have you ever been in a situation where a woman robbed you? And he's just like, yeah man, honestly, sometimes you got to make big decisions. Sometimes the woman you love isn't the woman that loves you. And you're like, whoa, this is the best advice I've ever had. Dude, and this is that moment where he's like, oh, I've got to go back. And you're just like, oh man, like this poor kid has no idea what he's getting himself into.
I love it.
It further solidified this movie.
Well, dude, because it was like, so say you had a friend and your friend really needed you and you left him when he needed you
after
the
you
most.
pledged allegiance. Those are the words. After you pledged allegiance to him.
What would you go to hell for that?
He said, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I love it.
So in a sense,
That's the energy I'm looking for.
would you feel like you need to make that situation right? Of course.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Gracias, papa. I'm gone.
I expect that energy and that sort of loyalty from all my friends. Yes, you're going to hell.
Man, dude, that was rough, bro.
So he comes home to that. Patrick, we get him waking up on his couch, and he's like the happiest person. He's sleeping on a couch for the first time, and who knows how long at this point.
He just got some cutty. He got a shorty now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jesus. And then his parents, you just get like the
bro?
perfect moment of his parents. he just starts knocking for studs in the wall at like 6 a.m.
Sick.
Dad, stop knocking for studs, please. Bailey's coming in because I shouldn't have done that. But yeah, man, it just everybody going home. These were the scenes that were like, Jesus, like this is why we watched this movie, because it gave you the moments that you were just kind of waiting for. But it really just sets up Joe where he's in a place all by himself, and the worst possible thing that could happen has happened.
He was not handling it well. Like, I like what they did with him, where like his facial hair just looks terrible.
Dude, he aged 6 years in like a week.
Yeah,
it was the worst
Like, he was
situation.
going through
it.
He looked so broken. Yeah,
he was
like,
going through it, man.
Yeah,
it was
I
rough
felt
for
bad
him.
for bro. I felt bad for him.
Well, the worst part is like he's clearly been on like a bender. He falls asleep on the lake, and there's just this dude
fucking, like,
who's banging chicks from just God knows who's where.
You pervert! This is my spot.
She's like,
But you've never been here.
It's all right. Don't worry. I got another spot.
No,
Yo,
I haven't.
they just gradually and unbeknownst to everyone else showed you the biggest pimp in the movie, and you're just like, all right, yeah, I guess I get it now.
Yeah.
These small towns, man, it's
But
insane.
so you also get Joe finally catching the animal though too, and skinning it, and like,
I like
did
that.
he eat the rat, and that's why he's throwing up?
Well,
'Cause-
dude, yeah. So that was the scene where like it's like a montage of him like making the worst decision, eating a live rat, and then you just see him vomiting, and that's where he ends up just falling asleep on the river.
Mhm.
Like, dude,
That's
you
such a
vomited
nasty
yourself
move.
into a coma.
That was such a nasty move.
It reminded me of did you ever see the movie Road Trip?
Oh, too many times.
I just bought it on my Voodoo, guys, like literally a week ago. But there's the scene with Tom Green dangling the mouse over his
I think
mouth.
there's two levels of enjoyment between these two movies with
Yeah,
eating
a
the
little
mouse.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
a little different.
someone was sexually aroused eating a mouse.
I'm good.
Okay, so as we wind down to the end of the movie here, we have a couple scenes left, but I would say they're great, just like everything we've gotten prior, right? Before we get there, I'd like to share one last shot. Matt, you've run out of liquor.
No,
and-
I'm here on the cup, my boys.
All right, my
Cheers.
friend.
Cheers.
my guys.
God
It's
bless.
been a good one.
No breaking to the bro code.
Yoko doesn't live here.
Where I want to kind of start this off is where we feel about Kelly, because obviously we've addressed where she's at as far as like she plays a big role in the falling apart of this house and the potential falling apart of a friendship, two best friends. Where do we fall on her? Both, how much at fault is she in this whole thing? And secondly, does she redeem herself at all by essentially, looking out for Joe?
Can you be more specific in when you say what's her fault in all of this? Are you referring to
Her,
the friendship breakup when you ask that question?
Matt called her Yoko, right?
Yeah.
Like, so she,
young
we
Yoko.
have this thing that's like really the perfect scenario, right? These three guys that have come together, and it just works, right?
I saw them as the Beatles. Like, if I'm being honest, it's the reason why I made this entire correlation.
So, I just, where does it kind of fall there? Where it's like, is she the person who's at fault here, or is it Patrick? Is it Joe? Is it like I'm sure it's a collection of all three of them. But do we hate her? I guess is my question.
No,
at this point, you do.
Yes.
Well, here's the thing, man. I think going back to the Little Rascals and Alfalfa, we all know you don't invite women to the clubhouse.
Yeah, why wouldn't we?
Right?
go back
You
to
all
that?
know you don't invite women to the clubhouse.
When's the last time you guys saw that movie?
He-Man Woman Haters
Long
Club.
time ago.
Long time ago, dude.
I wonder if it still would be.
This
good to
movie
watch
made
now.
me think of that because they're living a perfect life until Joe decides to go and invite people from the outside world.
Mhm.
And when that happens, you get drama that you're not necessarily accounting for. And what happens is that three best friends that anybody could have are broken up because a young woman chose someone else.
But objectively,
Chose another friend. Not someone else chose another
But
friend.
objectively, did she lead him on?
yes.
Yes.
Did she?
Yes.
I mean, objectively, again.
But
She had a boyfriend.
Yeah, but here's
She
the
had
thing,
a
man.
boyfriend from the
Was-
very beginning of this movie.
Was she playing Joe as the gay best friend? Is that what you want to insinuate?
Maybe.
No.
You're saying that she put him in the friend zone.
Yes.
I don't think so. I'm not rolling.
Here's
I guess from her perspective, maybe, but I don't think so.
I think we have to be able to look from her perspective.
So Lenny's on to a perfect point here, and it's three men making a comment on a woman making a decision on who she wants to be with.
Right.
I'm just not going to necessarily I get why we think it's fucked up, because from a male's perspective, like
we're putting ourselves in Joe's shoes.
Yeah, but when I look from her perspective, it's like she had a boyfriend at the very beginning of this movie while Joe was already pining for her.
Yep.
When she invites him to the party, it's like, my boyfriend's having a party.
And
you should come.
In hindsight, would you almost look at her inviting Joe as a way to make sure that Patrick is there?
No, I don't think it was there yet. I don't think she knew. I think there was a little bit of tension when they I do think there was a bit of tension, but I don't think it became like a hey, we're going to be in a relationship thing until later.
So go ahead.
My energy from the question that you asked, my energy was already on fuck this bitch. You know what I'm saying? She broke the band up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all good.
Okay.
You then compound your ain't shitness by doing the one thing that could make it worse to me, by going to tell his dad. You didn't help your status at this point. You made it worse in my eyes. That man didn't ask you to go tell his dad. He's living life out there.
Let's paint the picture for what it is, though. If she is a 16, 17-year-old girl who watches the news and sees the sheer panic of this kid missing. His friends have already returned, so they know that they're safe.
Where he is.
When she knows where he is and knows that the resources that are going into looking for this guy are wasted. I think she doesn't redeem herself, but she gives herself the idea that she does care, and I think she says a line at the end of the movie where she's like, even though we're not dating, I do care about you.
Yeah,
and
you can save that. That's kind of what I thought when I heard that line.
Come on,
I was definitely like,
save it, bro.
Like, I don't need I think that there was redemption, because there's two different questions here. There's like, for us, the audience, did she redeem herself? Yep. I think she does redeem herself in the eyes of Joe, because what we find out is she essentially saves his life.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I think he had things under control, but yeah.
Did he? He had spent a whole entire day sitting on the ground.
Yes, but he slept with a snake, though. A snake that could clearly kill him. He had things under control.
He had it under control.
But the snake wasn't leaving.
So what?
Why would the snake leave if it finally found a friend that can handle it?
Matt, come on.
No, man. Realistically,
you need to say
getting
D
the
too.
same thing, bro.
No, you don't think they were friends, though?
I'm not thinking they were friends, but I don't think he was in a bad spot.
I've stated in prior episodes that I don't trust reptiles. What I am saying,
you don't think he was in a bad spot? Are you fucking crazy?
He wasn't in a bad spot.
No, bro.
But he was in a spot where we talk about life.
Who was in a more bad spot?
We talk about life in categories, right? Things that you can control, things that you can influence, and things that you have no control over. He was influencing that situation where he had the snake in the palm of his hand. It wasn't until his bitch-ass dad in this two-timing trick came to find him.
Okay, where was this gonna go? He wasn't eating, he wasn't drinking, he was just stuck there.
That's one day.
What if
he could have gotten up,
dude? Okay,
you're playing a lot of what ifs with me. I don't like that.
Because we know what happened. He got his life saved.
But my brother, he dealt with Biagio not leaving.
Her life. What you talking about?
Props right here. Fist me, buddy.
He saved her.
Bro, this man dealt with Biagio not leaving him. He could have dealt with a snake being in his presence for a couple hours.
You saw when he grabbed
wasn't a couple hours.
Bro, he was controlling his breathing.
Can we just talk about then, are snakes that persistent? That's one of the questions I had. Like that snake stayed there for 8 hours, 9 hours.
He might have thought Joe was pussy. That's what he might have thought.
I think he could have thought that Joe was food.
I mean, he's big ass food.
Like, you get a little bit.
That's why he sat there, because the snake might have said, "All right, maybe let me see."
Okay,
the snake was playing. Let me see.
I've watched enough National Geographic documentaries to know that snakes won't attack you unless they feel like they're threatened. Mm-hmm. But this thing came into his place,
chilling, and
him being able to control his breathing, he wasn't coming from a threatening point of view. So who's to say that 16 hours later the snake doesn't leave? What else does he have to do? Go to Boston Market? He's got leftovers.
Well, no, but I was going to mention, it kind of sucks that he finally kills the rabbit, does all that stuff, and I don't think he ate any of it.
He didn't get a chance to.
Because the snake rolls up on him. Yeah, the snake
rolls up on him just as he's about to, as he's preparing it. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. We're getting back to the point of, did she redeem herself by bringing...
I think in the eyes of Joe, she did, clearly.
Okay.
Maybe not in the eyes of the viewer, but I think for her, Joey, she did.
Inside of the storyline...
No deal.
they get closure in this moment, right? Because
I'll give you.
she brings his dad.
But those
her.
are two different things, y'all. Let's make sure we make that distinction. Having closure and being redeemable. Those are two separate things.
But I think they're in a place where they're speaking, right? They're in a good place in their relationship.
Sure. He never was not talking to her though, Matt. He wasn't talking to Pat.
Bro, I think there was a moment where he was like, "I'm ready to kill this bitch."
Sure. Mad in the moment. Mad in the moment.
Sure.
But I don't think
the men are speaking.
I don't.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't.
There was a moment where he was ready to like.
His energy to me, as we watch, his energy was never really geared toward her. Sure, he was mad at her, but most of it was coming from, yo, you my mans. What you doing? Like, you come on now. It was never really, really geared towards her. So I don't think on the level of upsetness that most of it went to her. It was more towards her boy. So she had a whole lot more room for improvement.
It's open for interpretation, I think, right? Because at the end of this movie, they have their reconciliation, right? They have the conversation.
We didn't even get to like what leads to like the right, like skipping to the end, like some crazy shit happens in that house.
Let's talk about it.
All right, so Biagio gets bit by the snake.
But not even just that. He shows up speaking like parcel tongue.
No, I know.
I thought Bellagio pulled us speaking Slytherin, and
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah,
I think it's hilarious that if you're watching this on first watch, you're like, "Where'd this kid get a machete?" And then you see him speaking Spanish with his dad, and you're like, "All right, I know where he got the machete. That makes perfect sense."
Yeah, right.
But then he's just like, he gets into this moment where it's like him and the snake. And there was never a moment where I felt like he was in control. I knew he was going to get bit immediately.
Also, too, guys, like, I don't want to make sure that it doesn't go under the rug. Shout out fucking Joe again for protecting the joint even after he's upset. He jumps in front of her to save her life.
I mean, that was a boss move.
That's a boss-ass move, bro.
I would think if the snake was going to attack, that's the moment he should have attacked.
But then he saw Joe. You talking shit about me, man? He saw Joe and was like, "Oh, it's just you, Joe. My fault, bro."
That's what I'm saying.
He got it Joe, bro.
This dude was cocked, ready to go for 12 hours in front of this man.
He wasn't cocked. He wasn't cocked. He was chilling.
All I can think about.
I don't want to get my double chin on camera,
bro. All I can think about is this snake. Once it got its head chopped off and it was alive for a few seconds, it was like, "Bro, I thought we were cool."
Yeah,
I didn't bite you, son.
He looked at that Joe like, "My guy, really? For real?
You chose this bitch over me.
For real?
Everything that you just learned. You still chose hoes before bros. Well, what's up?" There's this moment, right, where all this thing happens, but it ends up working out in the end. Would you guys say that?
Well, so you have this awesome. I love the scene of Biagio gets bit.
Yeah.
And it's like all panic ensues, and he's throwing up, and then when he starts pissing himself, and he's like, "Oh no!" I forget what he's just like, "Oh no!" He's pissing himself.
No, because he threw up. Maybe he got rid of it all. Nobody had a clue of what was going on, and there is a moment in this sense when we're thinking about Biagio getting bit. He has one of the best lines in this movie, and I've named a couple of them, but there was one that I wanted to make sure didn't go unnoticed.
Please.
So he says, "Hey, do you know we've been walking for a half a mile? I can tell by how much we've bonded."
Yo, Bellagio, bro. Come on, man. And there was a real life part.
Hold on. The response is, "You haven't said a word." The bonding moment between these two. To Biagio, I was like, "Dude, we just became best friends."
No.
And I didn't say a word.
But I kind of get that, because I always said when I was going to move in with roommates, I was like, I need to live with people that I can like sit in silence with and not have it be weird. So the fact that he's like, we walked a half a mile and didn't have to say a word to each other.
We bonded.
It shows their bond, because at the end
like,
of all this,
I'm comfortable with you in silence, bro. Like, I don't
that says a lot. For men, that says a lot.
Yeah.
After all the drama that ensued, the most important thing here was that making sure that Biagio survived it.
Which is what I was going to say just now, is that this was at this point of the movie, right? First watch. I was real life expecting a sad ending. I'm like, yo, damn.
They're going to kill off Biagio.
They're going to kill Bellagio, and this is what brings the friendship back together. I was scared. Real life.
The fact that he still can't get it right.
No,
Biagio.
He's getting it right, yeah.
Biagio.
Oh.
And when I'm saying it in conversation, I'm thinking of the casino.
I'm going to hashtag Bellagio, and I really hope that the fucking Vegas hotel.
Hashtag Bellagio.
Gives us a
can
little
get a
bit of a
sponsor
bump.
deal.
I'm just hoping we get a rub.
What kind of name is Biagio for the record?
He's Spanish.
Yeah, dude.
Biagio.
Clearly they're
You
Italian.
know a lot of Spanish Biagios.
Well, I was gonna say I know a lot of Spanish people who like Italian movies. So same but different.
He says when he's in the hospital too. It's like if I had to do this to do this again, I 100% would. And then a second goes by and he's like, "Well, remember when I said that I would do this again?" He's like, "Yeah, that was like now." He's like, "No, I was wrong. Like I wouldn't do it again." All right, Biagio.
I fucking love Bellagio, bro. He's a good guy.
He had the best.
I'm not doing it.
He had the best moments in the movie.
Like I was trying to be a real boss right there, but it's like I already got bid. I already am a boss.
No, it almost feels like he didn't remember saying any of the first.
Yeah, I was tripping. I was tripping, bro. I'm not doing it again. I did it once. You saw
He
it.
comes on as the hero in all this.
Yep.
Right? Because
Shout
I think
him
we're
out.
all at the end of this movie. We're like, "Yo, Biagio, the most hardcore, manliest man that you could possibly
then-
think of."
And
That's
then
it.
the joint comes in to hold it down.
Wasn't even surprised.
Was it?
No,
the
I
joint-
mean,
Bro,
she was like
where's
scared.
Bellagio?
Bro, she was like, "Where's he at? Is he
Yeah.
okay?" Immediately in the room.
Moves both of them out the way. Goes runs to Bellagio.
Oh, dude.
So-
I mean, he's gonna be getting pampered from bed for
Come on,
for
man.
a while.
Come
Yeah.
on,
So,
man. He might have got the
we're-
dome in the hospital bed.
We're
I don't
left
know
with.
if you can on those types of antibiotics.
So we talk about a road to redemption, and we get this moment between Joe and between Patrick, where everything seems like it's okay.
The scene outside of the hospital room is like kind of, you get the feeling they'll find a way back. But I really
The scene in the car.
have you guys ever had that moment? Maybe not that exact thing where you're in a car side by side, but like maybe where you were beefing with one of your best friends,
Yeah.
or beefing even with a female, it could be, and you give that, like, you catch eyes at that one point, and you're like, I'm not really like, I don't want to be mad at you like that. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to kind of, let's move on. I'm gonna remember it, put it in the back of my head.
I feel like
but,
the friend thing comes to play in so many ways because I don't know about you guys, but I'm extremely competitive, right? If we go bowling, we go play pool,
Mhm.
anything like that, where you've gotten into heated arguments that maybe have gone a little bit too far.
Mhm.
And, you know, there's that weird awkwardness where you don't speak for a couple of days, but then the one moment where you come face to face, you don't actually acknowledge that all this shit just went down between the two of you. You just continue on. It's like, hey, did you catch that new Machine Gun Kelly album? Like, it's just like you start anew.
Well, so this is, I think you're shaking your head, and I understand it, but like, I do want to point out, it's a little different. If somebody like cheats on, like, one of my boys like does something fucked up like that when I'm 30, like, I'm
Yeah,
deading it,
that's
right?
different,
Like, I don't
yeah.
need that energy in my life at all, right? Like, I have friends, I don't need you anymore, right?
Yeah.
I don't need people like that. But at 16, 17, I'm gonna be a little bit more forgiving. Not to say I can't find other friends, but to be like,
But you know that your friends...
we're teenagers, and I don't even know if I really love this girl. Like, I'm
Yeah.
acting like I love this
Yeah.
girl, but I don't even really like fucking know this girl.
We
So, like,
all know better.
yeah, so like blood runs deeper kind of thing, where I'm like, yeah, you've been my man. Like, you moved to the fucking woods with me at the drop of a hat. Like, we didn't even talk. Like, I barely
Right.
had to convince you.
Right.
So like that's what that moment in the car to me
Yeah.
is like we were boys before this girl. I can find a way to like get over it. It's not like I had hooked up with her and then you took her. Like,
Like,
I was crushing. You
we've
know?
been through some crazy shit.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, I know it's going to be me and you.
And this other dude we were
So
with almost died.
So for y'all, this it made it full circle. Pat and Joe can come back on this.
Yeah.
Easily, man. Like, I think that they've been through so
that
much.
made it seem that scene. That's what I'm making sure.
Yeah,
that scene.
yeah, because I
but
think that
it doesn't. And nothing had to be said. I really appreciate that.
Nothing has to be said, and they kind of put an exclamation point on it with Nick Offerman basically looking at him like, "Yeah, you good?"
He's
And
like,
it's
"No."
like, yeah,
Patrick just did something funny in the next car,
Yeah.
and it's while the girl's in the car with him. So
Yeah.
also keep I think that
like,
was
you got to
even
keep
more,
that in
like,
mind.
it's not like the
Yeah.
girl was there and he was still like, "Now we're cool, bro." Like just
Yeah,
chuck the
like
finger.
there's an
like,
acknowledgement of, hey, we got to go back.
it's like
to
8 Mile with Brittany Murphy and
Oh, when
Eminem.
they flip each other off at the end,
Yeah.
and it's like we're gonna see each other in the hotel
You know what I'm
later on.
saying?
Yeah, you guys are making weird eye contact,
What a
and you hung out last night in extracurricular
Found a way,
activities.
bro. Yeah.
That's a little weird.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
coming,
Super jealous.
yeah,
All right, Joe. All
I
right, Joe. Chill, bro.
I'll be honest.
Joe.
I'll be honest. I'm a little upset. I'm ready to flip this fucking Monopoly board right now. I'll go
We're
fuck.
done
You
with
just
good
fucking
taste.
throw Thanos
Dude, I'll
against the
throw
wall,
my
dude.
fucking drink across the wall. ruin this whole studio moment.
Motherfucker.
But that's the moment, right? Like that's
Yeah.
the moment where you guys can come full circle and you can kind of have an understanding of each other. Of we've been through some shit.
Right.
We're gonna continue going through some shit. Let's go back to this life that we tried to escape for 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It all comes to an abrupt end where we don't really get like an understanding of where these guys are going.
But Joe has had this moment with his dad.
Yeah.
In the cafeteria where he tells him he's proud of how he handled himself, and you have this. I think you get a feeling all around that, like, you know, Joe has severed a lot of relationships, but it seems like they've all been kind of mended just because people are happy that he's like safe and home. You know,
you almost feel like he ended those relationships for what they were, and now they can develop and become something better.
Yeah.
A solid end, man. This was in the world of climax, and you know, you come for your declimax and all that stuff like that. A solid end. The scene in particular, I don't agree with from own personal opinions and morals, but
that's a sign of a good movie, though.
But yes, I'm cool with
that. You can agree with it.
Oh
at the
yeah,
end
I'm
of it.
cool with it. But for an ending, solid way to bring it full circle for me.
I think when you hear the term like coming of age thrown around for a movie, that's exactly what this is, because like Joe left, like all of them left more of a child than they came back from, right? Like, and so yeah, that I think I definitely agree. I this movie it just climbs steadily the whole way.
Yeah,
it's well paced.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I mean,
for sure.
that brings us to
the final
end
question.
Game, boys.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think we'll start off with D.
What?
Where does this land on the taste test for you?
Guys, this was a very tough decision for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
Because I say that and I pause because I'm in between 3 different numbers. You know what I mean? Depending on the day, depending on the time, depending on what I'm feeling. I think where I'm going to end is that this is a nice, solid piece of a red velvet cake.
Okay.
Me personally, I would recommend this to anybody. Rainy Tuesday, Friday night with your girl, Saturday night in the day. You can throw this on and it's going to be the same movie no matter what. You're going to get the same laughs no matter what. Under the influence, not under the influence. It's a overall solid ass movie, man. Very under the radar, but well worth the watch. If we've all been to high school, we all have some sort of formal education. You can relate. You've got friends. You've all been through some shit. You have some experiences. This movie relates to you on a lot of different levels. For that being said, all-star cast, enough funnies, a solid piece of red velvet cake. Get you some milk, get you a knife, eat into this shit. Great movie, man.
Get you some milk might be the most questionable term.
Get you some milk with that.
Saying I've ever heard of that. I'm
get
with
you
it,
some
dude.
milk, man.
I'm with
A
it.
piece of cake and some milk, man. Get you that.
I'm knocking that.
Yeah,
Good
bro.
Shit. What do you want to do here, buddy? You want to go first, or?
Yeah, why not? Why not? I can go first. Sure. I will start by saying I feel a lot of the same thing that you're feeling there. Where I would recommend this to anybody. I think it's a movie that can be funny to just about anybody. It's easily relatable on many fronts. I think I didn't even realize until we sat here for an hour and talked about it that like the amount of fronts that it really is relatable, and the amount of social things that growing up you kind of have like hit you.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm gonna fall right in there with Cake because I'm not gonna tell you it's like it's a classic. It obviously wasn't some groundbreaking movie from like a popularity standpoint or anything like that. You know. The tomato
social
scores.
What I will mention is that the budget on this movie was $1.5 million, and they made in box office worldwide $1.5 million.
So the other cool thing I did find from
they
this,
broke even.
So the other cool thing I found from this was the director of this. 2 things that he's like responsible for. He directed Kong Island, Kong Skull Island.
Skull Island.
A lot of bigger budget.
And now he is directing a Sesame Street movie.
Bigger budget.
Like not like but this is like that's all he's really done in the past like 7 years basically.
Where it's
this was first?
It's very different.
Yeah,
okay.
This is
very different.
Well, he's 2 for 2, motherfucker.
So you're doing pretty fucking well.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is 100% a piece of cake for me.
What kind of cake?
I'm gonna say
what kind of cake?
I'm gonna say ice cream cake. This is a nice Carnival ice cream, cookies and cream ice cream.
Get your shit off. Summertime.
I'm loving this. Is like a kid. This is like a kid's birthday.
Summertime.
This is your 17th birthday.
Okay. What you got, Matt?
Well,
Talk
I
to
think
me,
this
boss.
one for me, it falls in the same rating, but I think for different reasons. A lot of the times I come on these spoiler episodes that we do together, and I really think about rewatchability. I don't think that this would be a movie that I'm itching to rewatch. I mean, I've already watched it twice in the span of a week.
And we good?
But for me, it's the idea of being able to recommend this movie to somebody else. I like the idea of being able to tell someone that, hey, if you want to catch a movie with your significant other, with your parents, with your kids, it really does seem like that movie that's going to be able to kind of cross all thresholds, right? It was something that I genuinely enjoyed that I didn't think I would 20 minutes into.
Mm-hmm.
And when you come out of it, you're genuinely thinking, I like this movie. It's a good movie. I like what they did with the characters. I'd like to tell somebody else about this movie. So as far as rewatchability, I certainly may catch it again in the future, but it is certainly a movie that I'm going to want to recommend to friends and family. And one that I think I probably would hit favorites on in the Voodoo just so I can catch it later.
As far as rewatchability, just as a person who has seen it for a long time now, right? Like, I don't think it's a movie that you watch, like, it's not like, say, Harry Potter or some shit where you're like, hey, like, there's people who are every year they want to rewatch the whole series from start to finish, right? I don't think it's one of those movies where every year you're going to dust it off. But as a person who every 2 or 3 years now has kind of stumbled back to it and rewatched it, I still enjoy it. Even to this time where I've seen it probably 8-9 times. So I think it does still hold up in that way. But yeah, it's not like appointment viewing, and it's not something you would just find out randomly.
But it is
seek it out if
it
you want
is
to
something
rewatch
that, you know, when we're comparing it to like Chips, if this movie were on, I would actively be engaging in the movie. I'd be watching
which
it.
is why I said to y'all,
Yeah.
I was in between three different things. This is the first movie that we watched for 3, 2, 1 spoiler where I gave it some thought for a porterhouse.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it some thought for Chips because what you said was rewatchability. That's high enough on my scale. If this is on TBS on a Thursday or Sunday and I'm cleaning up, I'll throw it on. But am I actively watching it? No.
Yeah.
But if I do
The
sit
5
down to
minutes
watch
here
this
and there
movie,
that you catch, you're going to really enjoy it.
exactly.
Yeah.
When I'm sitting down to actually watch this movie, no, this is a piece of cake. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
for me, this is a nice fine piece of confetti cake with white frosting on it.
okay, then.
Yeah,
Vanilla.
I'm feeling really good about this one.
Vanilla on the inside.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah,
Loves it. Vanilla on
I
the
think it would
inside.
be really good. Slap me with some marble cake too.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I can go both
So
ways
no
on
glass
this
of
one.
milk for you because you made fun of me with the glass.
No, I don't drink milk, but
That's
You'd
why.
have a nice-
You lactose?
I'm certainly intolerant of dairy. Yeah.
Wow. What a loser.
That's a really tough life to live.
What a loser. That's what I said. What a
Sucks.
loser.
It sucks.
I mean, say what you will, I just don't enjoy milk.
Yeah. No, milkshakes.
But I think everybody can enjoy a piece of cake, which is where this falls unanimously on our taste test for this week.
Yeah, man.
How did you guys feel leaving this movie, and what do you have going into our next one?
Dude, I think we all can just say we've left very positively.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for the next movie. I don't remember what our next one's going to be. but
I'm shocked you haven't given me a bad movie yet.
it's
honestly.
well, I don't watch bad movies. I just like to point that out.
Let's take
I
a
have
moment to
good-
acknowledge.
I have good
even,
taste,
even if he
by the
doesn't
way.
watch bad movies, he certainly doesn't pay for bad movies, which is where we kind of
So
fall on this.
okay.
entire
I
voodoo kinda
think
thing.
I think we do have some stuff lined up that I am cognizant of the fact that we can't give everything cake.
Yeah.
So I am aware of
I
that.
need you. Yeah, you got to give me something that might be at least questionable.
We're working on it.
So
We're working on it.
we had some questions on Kid Detective, and unfortunately, the people didn't really get a chance to view that. But hopefully, when they're watching this, they can see how much we genuinely enjoyed the movie,
Yeah.
and maybe it sets the precedent that 3, 2, 1 spoiler number 4 is.
Do you
something to look forward
remember?
to.
Okay, this is real life, like on Action Live. Do you remember what you gave Kid Detective?
I gave Kid Detective chips.
What you gave? It?
Steak.
You gave it steak.
Mhm.
I think I gave it cake.
Yeah, for me it was chips
I think
because
it's
it's one I would recommend, but I certainly wouldn't tell anybody that they have to go out of their way to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would, on the other hand, say they should.
Yeah.
But, with that being said, let us know how you feel about this movie.
That's what it's all about.
You probably haven't seen it. Again,
For sure.
go and check it out. Like, I definitely think it's worth the watch. It's worth $4 on Amazon or whatever it might cost, so give that a shot.
Definitely.
If you happen to be one of the people who have seen it, let us know your favorite moments, your favorite character. Was she a trifling asshole? Just
sure.
hit all the points that we've kind of gone through here. And if you're still here, just thank you in general for sticking around.
Yeah, I
right, guys?
appreciate you guys for making it through this
Yeah,
because this was a little bit of a long one, but I think
Yeah,
we had
not
some
a
good
problem.
times with
Thank
it.
y'all for having me as always.
Of course,
I'm
man.
very appreciative.
Yeah,
I'm,
D,
I'm
where
so
can
happy
they-
to come here and kick it with y'all?
Where can they find you on the socials?
Please find me on the socials. D.ALSTON. My last name Austin _ on all socials.
It's a fire ass username, bro.
Just my name.
Just fire ass name,
Just
bro.
my name.
Dee's one of those that has good taste.
I do.
And
I
if
do.
you think that you have good taste, you can only catch us in a million different places. But what's one of them, Len?
Twitter at Good Taste Live.
And then they can check us out on Instagram at For Those With Good Taste.
We're also weekly putting out podcasts on YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora,
Ooh.
Google Podcasts,
Apple Podcasts.
What else?
Deezers,
What
Deez
else?
Nuts.
Deez
Find us in the
Nuts, I'm
chat.
on there.
Subscribe,
Okay.
like, listen, do the whole fucking nine.
The whole
right?
thing.
Because honestly, we're here for you guys. And if
Listen,
you don't
man.
appreciate it, or you're not letting us know that you appreciate it,
We got
gotta-
2 words for you.
Suck it!
Suck it.
And it's 3 words. Just subscribe, please. Thanks. We'll catch you guys next week. We're out of here.
Peace.
Peace.
For those with good taste.